Hi, this is Dr. Kathy McGuire of Creative Edge Focusing. Today I'm doing an exercise which I really think is the first step of Gendlin's focusing. And it's about creating a caring, feeling presence inside of yourself, what we call the focusing attitude. It's about self-empathy, self-love, self-nurturing. And we really wouldn't want anybody to embark on Gendlin's focusing without having that attitude toward one's inner self. It's the same as when you're doing empathic listening with another person on the outside. When you're being with yourself on the inside, you want to set aside all of your judgments, advice, criticisms, and just be with yourself in a caring, open, nurturing, accepting way. The creators of this exercise are Fathers Pete Campbell and Ed McMahon of the bio-spiritual focusing approach. They call this exercise getting a caring, feeling presence. They knew that you had to not just have an intellectual idea of this nurturing self-love, but an actual bodily experience about how to bring that kind of attention to yourself inside. So they have this exercise where first we'll do some relaxation and breathing just to become centered. And then I will invite you to imagine that you work at a hospital and you have just found a baby abandoned on the steps. And your task is to pick up that baby and convey to that infant through your body, through the way you hold it, that it is completely safe and wanted in this world. That's the kind of caring, feeling presence you want to bring to your own inner children or wounded parts. So that's the exercise. First we'll hold the infant, then we'll look for images or animals, people in our life that ever gave us that kind of completely non-judgmental caring and feeling of safety. Then we'll look for an image of our woundedness, and eventually we'll bring the inner nurturer, that inner caring image, in contact with our inner woundedness and see if we can get some of that sense of caring, feeling presence, completely non-judgmental self-love and self-empathy. So this is the exercise, again, from Fathers Pete Campbell and Ed McMahon of Biospiritual Focusing. So I invite you to sit in your chair and get ready to close your eyes. I'll invite you to loosen any clothing that's too tight so you can be comfortable. And I'll invite you to begin by closing your eyes and starting to just notice your breathing. So you're just going to notice your breath going in and out. In and out. In and out. You don't have to try to change it. Just notice. If there are any sighs or deeper breathing that arise naturally, just let that happen. Just noticing. And now I invite you to notice how your body feels sitting in the chair, where it's contacting the chair, if you need to move around to get more comfortable. And I invite you to massage any spots that feel sore. It could be your head or your smile muscles or your neck and shoulders. just take a minute to be kind to your body by noticing your tensions and providing a little warm physical attention in the way of massaging. And breathe. And now you might try just to really wrinkle up your face as much as you can, and then let your jaw drop and just relax your face. And breathe. And now make a few circles with your shoulders, just bringing your shoulders up to your ears and then pressing them back, up and around and back. Let's do that 3 or 4 times. Again, we're starting to be gentle with our body. And breathe. And let it out if sighs come. And now I invite you to bring your attention inside to the place where Gendlin says you might find a felt sense or an intuitive feel of your living. It's often in the center of your body, around your heart and chest area. It's a place of inner peace and where you might get a feel of how you are today. And now I want you to imagine that you work in a hospital and an infant has been left on the steps. Try to get an image of this and let yourself feel the impact of this discovery in your body. And it is your job to pick up that infant and to convey to it through your body, your way of holding it, that it is safe, that it is perfectly and truly wanted in this world. So imagine picking up that infant. And holding it close to your heart, chest. And now imagine what you do in your body to convey to that infant that it is perfectly safe and wanted in this world. And now imagine turning that same kind of caring, feeling presence toward your own inner places, whatever they may be. And now I invite you to bring to mind times in your life when you did feel loved and valued in this way. Just look for particular places or people or even animals, situations where you felt completely safe, completely wanted, basking in the warmth of loving attention. And we'll spend quite a bit of time there looking for these inner nurturing places or people or animals. And for me, what comes to mind is a black lab dog that I had, a female dog, who would look at me with exactly that kind of unconditional love and caring and non-judgment. And it almost makes me cry to remember that. Just really basking in her love. So see if you can find a person, maybe a grandparent, a parent, a teacher, an activity like running and jumping or climbing trees, or an animal in your life, something that let you feel that same way. Totally loved and wanted and not judged. And I invite you to get a really good, strong image of that memory, strong enough that you could use it as an anchor or a talisman that you could always go back to in focusing or in any other experience, and anchor yourself back to what it feels like to be loved and wanted. And you get a good image of that, a good strong anchor image, and we'll call that your inner nurturer. And I find myself, my body, I want to put my hands kind of crossed over my heart and chest as a way of bringing that caring, feeling presence to myself. You can see if that also helps you to strengthen your image or memory of total love and acceptance. And now we're going to look for, in your life and your store of memories and images, to see if you can find an image for a part of yourself that is now or was at some point very much in need of that kind of caring, feeling presence. It could be an inner child. It could be yourself at a certain age or a certain situation in your life. It could be another kind of an image, like that you have, you're a butterfly with a crumpled wing, or that you, part of you is like a gangrenous leg that you just want to cut off. Or it could be a particular physical tension that you have often, that you feel like you suffer from, a headache, or a tight jaw, or a stomach knot. Something that is an image of a part of you that's suffering or in need of caring, loving appreciation. We'll call that your inner woundedness. So see if you can make an image for that. And now imagine taking your inner nurturer, the anchor image of caring, feeling presence, and turning that total love and appreciation and non-judgment toward that wounded part of yourself. See if you can bring those two together. So in my case, I could imagine that black lab kind of licking my face while I'm crying. And that brings up a pretty deep feeling there. Or I had another image of myself as a wounded and confused child just climbing up into the lap of a mother or grandmother and feeling that acceptance and love. So just spend some time finding that image that for you brings together a woundedness in yourself and that caring feeling presence, that inner nurturing who accepts you just the way you are. And spend some time, if you can, bringing those together. And so if you go on further to explore Gendlin's 6-step focusing process, hold on to this anchoring image of the focusing attitude of a caring, feeling presence, an inner nurturer who has non-judgmental acceptance of anything that comes up during a focusing turn. And remember, you can just imagine picking up that infant in the hospital stairs and what it would feel like to convey you are completely safe and you are completely wanted in this world. And I invite you to come gently back into the room and open your eyes when you're ready. And if you found you went to a pretty deep place in this exercise, we can call it, you might want to bring yourself back to the present by just looking around in your environment, looking around in your room, and maybe just noticing all the things that are sharp corners, boxes, just to bring your awareness out. Corners of the room. I see my boxy fire extinguisher alarm on my ceiling. I see a bunch of rectangular boxes. I see all those pictures on the wall that are rectangular. I see my mouse pad. Just know that you can always bring yourself back into present attention by noticing some very specific aspect of this outer environment. I'm going to sign off now. Thank you very much for your attention.